You're not putting in the code right. My wife and I have been able to experience greatness. We've been around millionaires, multimillionaires. We live in a dream life. We own homes and yachts, and it's so easy to do if you know the code. If you don't know the code, it's impossible to unlock your potential and to live your best life.
To go and operate every day and grow a business, we all got to be able to stretch ourselves. I want you to get out of your comfort zone. I want you to get out of this head space of operating mentally, and I want you to start focusing on how do you lead and guide and move more so with your heart.
Money is a reward. We're not driven by money. Money is not our Lord, it's not our God. Money is really the reward from your effort. So right now I want you to understand, if you make a commitment today to learn the code, and I'm gonna teach you the code, I'm gonna break down the code, and if you execute the code, you're gonna be a peak performer. If you don't execute the code, you might be good, you might be very good, but you'll never operate at your...
And more importantly, is it's time for you to leave the old man behind. You see, the old man will never share the same space with the new man. If you want to get to another level in growth, another level in purpose, and another level in business, you got to be able to look over your shoulder and look at that old man and say, you know what, old man, goodbye. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for another $1 Million Mindset Hour. All right, so we came up with this name, $1 Million Mindset, because we recognize for any of us as entrepreneurs, if you're going to get to that next level in business, and for a lot of us, that first big step is getting to your first million. If you're going to be that kind of entrepreneur who knows that they can command and attract $1 million worth of revenue every single year, we have to be the people with that kind of mind. And that's one of the hardest things that I've discovered, that each and every one of us having that ability to shift our mindset and elevate it, I've noticed is kind of hard. So now, how do we make elevating our mindset much easier? One of the easiest ways for you to elevate your mindset is to shift your focus. You know, this game is all about you recognizing where you really want to end up. If you can shift yourself and start making your destination your priority, well, the things that you need to do to get to that destination will make you necessarily change. And that happens when you are clearly established in that destination. You know, I want you to liken it to a GPS system. You know, we pick up our phones every single day. We get in the car, we put in a destination, and we know that our universe will lead us there easily. But do we do that with our lives every day? I'm going to venture to say that we don't. I feel like as I move about in the world and talk to people and coach and advise people every day in their industry and in their business and in their life, my observation is that people get up and they just go to work and play. And the reason why I use the term play is this, because they are not moving with intention. You see, to become intentional is intentional. Does that make sense? If you're going to put in your GPS and put your first destination, $10 million attracted business, 30 million attracted business, my first million, whatever that is, you got to get clear on that destination. So today, I want you to do that with me now before we bring Walter to the stage. I want you to really close your eyes and think about what is that very first audacious goal that you can lay hold of. What's that goal? What's your first destination you want to achieve? And with that in mind, I want you then to pick up your cell phone. I want you to write that down. And then I want you to become very seriously intent on that as the destination. So now, whatever you put as this audacious goal, I want you to make sure it's something that stretches you. You see, to go and operate every day and grow a business, we all got to be able to stretch ourselves. I want you to get out of your comfort zone. I want you to get out of this head space of operating mentally, and I want you to start focusing on how do you lead and guide and move more so with your heart. You see, when you start moving with your heart, your intentions will naturally shift. they're going to naturally change and they will naturally grow. Why? Because this other self, this other part of you that sees more accomplishments, that wants more success, is willing to go further more actually than your own natural self. So it's time for you to stretch. It's time for you to desire more. And more importantly, it's time for you to leave the old man behind. You see, the old man will never share the same space with the new man. If you want to get to another level in growth, another level in purpose, and another level in business, you got to be able to look over your shoulder and look at that old man and say, you know what, old man, goodbye. You no longer serve me. Because to get to your next level, you cannot do the things that got you to this place called here. Because now we're focused on there. And there requires new thoughts, new habits, new disciplines, new priorities, and a clearly new way of doing things. And so today, as Walter comes to the stage and he's going to break down our peak performers code, I want you, my friend, to lock in. I want you to expand your mind. I want you to recognize and say it with me. What got me to this place called here, it will no longer serve me because my new destination is there. And so I want you to repurpose in your heart and in your mind that today is the day of change. This is the best day possible that you could say, I'm ready for change. I'm really serious about growth and about getting to my next level. And so I got to maybe change the way I think about things. Honestly, you probably got to change the way you're looking at things and what you're looking at. Because you're going to shift your priorities. You got to shift your whole life, not a part of your life. Your whole life got to change. So I'm excited because right now we're entering a new season. We're entering to a new dimension because we live life on stages and we elevate onto different levels. And if you're going to level up, it's time to enter to a whole nother mindset. You got to shift your mind. You got to reframe how you've been framing things, and you got to leave behind the old man. All right. So as Walter comes to the stage, and I know as we are leaving behind our old man, so that we can enter into this new season to what God has designed for us. And if you're on this journey with us, I know for sure God got next level on his mind towards you, because we're going to another level, into a whole nother dimension of excellence, of our commitment, into exemplifying the life that God has called each and every one of us to walk into. So I'm excited about accelerating, and I'm excited about you accelerating with us. So I want you to make sure that is your clear exercise that I want you to do for me today, is make sure you reprogram your GPS. I want you to reprogram your GPS. And you got to be okay with not looking backwards, because it's very hard to move forward when you're eternally looking back. You see, when we run this race, the race is meant to be run going forward. A sprinter does not keep looking back. A sprinter looks forward, looking on to the next step, to the next level, and I know that's what you want. So Walter, come to the stage, and let's impress our people on how they get to the next level. Why? Because they're looking forward and not continuously looking back. Here's the mic.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome to Millionaire Hour. I'm your host, Walter Bond. Thank you for my wonderful wife warming up the crowd. And right now, what we want to do is do something powerful. It's the foundation of our business. It's called Peak Performers Code. Repeat after me. Peak Performers Code. What we've been doing for 2 decades, we're experts in peak performance. And let me give you a little bit of some background. In a previous life, when I played basketball, on my way to the NBA, I was learning how to become a peak performer. You can't even calculate how hard it is or difficult it is to play in the NBA. It's not even a mathematical equation, because little boys all over the world touch a basketball when they're 8 years old in China, Japan, Brazil, America, Slovenia, Yugoslavia, Germany, literally all over the world, dreaming of playing in the NBA. It's a global industry, and roughly about 45 to 50 guys every year get a chance to play, which means 45 to 50 guys get kicked out the NBA. It's a revolving door, but let me tell you something. On my way to the NBA, I learned how to become a peak performer, and there's a code. There's a code to peak performance. So since my wife and I learned how to perfect the code through basketball, when we got into business, it was easier. Within 3 years, 36 months, executing the code, we were able to double our MBA income. And let me tell you something, money is a reward. We're not driven by money. Money is not our Lord, it's not our God. Money is really the reward from your effort. So right now I want you to understand, if you make a commitment today to learn the code, and I'm going to teach you the code, I'm going to break down the code, and if you execute the code, you're going to be a peak performer. If you don't execute the code, you might be good, you might be very good, but you'll never operate at your peak. Remember in high school, we had that combination lock. And in between classes, we got, 4 minutes, 5 minutes to hustle to your locker and get something out your locker and make it to class. Now, I don't know about you, sometimes I would screw up my code, right? 3 to the left, 4 to the right, 3 to the left, bam! And it would almost always open, but every now and then, if I didn't put the code in right, my locker would not open, and I had to start over from scratch. Sometimes in life, that's exactly what you might be going through right now. You're trying to be a millionaire and it's not working. You're trying to be self-employed, it's not working. You're trying to grow a business, and for whatever reason, it's not working. I'm going to tell you what, it's just like that combination lock in high school. You're not putting in the code right. My wife and I have been able to experience greatness. We've been around millionaires, multimillionaires. We live in a dream life. We own homes and yachts, and it's so easy to do if you know the code. If you don't know the code, it's impossible to unlock your potential and to live your best life. So today, this might be my best program. Today, this might be my most important program because today, I'm going to take about 40 minutes to teach you the code. Now, I can't execute the code for you. I can't run the play for you. All I can do is teach you what we created called the Peak Performance Code. I will say this. People in our world that execute the code have gotten the result. We had one guy, Bill, doubled his salary in 12 months. Why? He executed the code. We have a client just sold for $8 billion. Why? Executed the code. We have another client just sold for $1 billion. How? Executed the code. So I want you to understand success is not agnostic to anybody, right? Success is available to all of us, but we can't violate the code. In fact, if you got a hold of my locker from high school, I think I still have it. If someone gave you the combination, and if you did the combination right, you can unlock my lock just as well as I could. Does that make sense? So if we can execute the code, the peak performance code, you're going to have a successful life. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're young. I don't care if you're old. I had a Zoom this morning with the client, and behind him was a picture of Colonel Sanders. Why do I bring that up? Somehow he had a picture of Colonel Sanders in a black suit. Colonel Sanders always wears white. Somehow this guy got a picture of Colonel Sanders. He used to work for KFC back in the day. And somehow he got a picture of KFC Colonel Sanders in a black sport coat. And so he has it in his office. But the moral of the story, KFC was founded when Colonel Sanders was late in life. He was 60 plus years old when he founded Kentucky Fried Chicken. Why do I bring that up? Because it's not too late. Some of you guys are saying, man, I'm old, man, I'm already 35, 40, let me go get a job. It's not too late, Colonel Sanders. Some of you guys are saying, you know what, Walter, I've been divorced 2 times, I tried some other businesses, I filed bankruptcy, oh man, it's enough for me. No, it's not too late, Colonel Sanders. Some of you guys have gotten comfortable, some of you guys are drifting, some of you guys are out of control because you've given up. But right now, I came to rescue you. I came to arrest you and to get you back on track, because if you can execute this code, my wife and I did something special in 36 months. 36 months, we doubled our MBA income only because we executed the code. So if you're ready, say ready. Ready. If you're ready to get to that next level, raise your hand and say yes. Yes. If you're ready to learn the code, raise your hand and say yes. Yes. If you're ready to unlock everything that God has for you, one more time, raise your hand and say yes. The first combination that's going to lock your code is your mindset. As a man thinks. The Bible even says to take every thought captive and bring it into the obedience of Christ. The mindset is a powerful tool. I'm telling people, your mindset can be consumed with surviving. Got to pay the rent. Mortgage is due. How can I make this car note? I need some money for groceries. You live in day-to-day, check to check. Your mind can be consumed with surviving. What we want to do here at Peak Performance Huddle and making sure the Millionaire Hour is powerful for you, we're not going to spend time on surviving. I want you to spend all your mental energy on thriving. And the choice is yours. It's almost like a meter. Are you surviving or are you thriving? The millionaires that we hang out with and live with and are neighbors with, they don't spend time surviving, we spend time thriving. And so your mental energy needs to be spent on thriving and not surviving. So let's talk about the mindset. Here's why it's important to take every thought captive. You have 70,000 thoughts a day and 70% are negative. You are at a war. You're in the ultimate battle, and if you ever think about what you think about, you have to agree with me. Your life reflects what you've been thinking about. Your life reflects what you've been meditating on. Your life will reflect exactly where you set your mindset. And let me be clear. Your mindset is like a thermostat in your house. My house, we set our thermostat on 75 degrees. Don't judge me. You might say, Walter, that's too hot, man. That's too hot, man. 75 degrees, that's my house. We pay the bills. My wife and I are in agreement. We set our thermostat on 75 because that's how we like it, and our heating and cooling is regulated by where we set the thermostat. I come to your house, that's your business. You pay the rent. That's your house. If you set your temperature on 68 degrees, your heating and cooling system will be regulated by where you set it. So it doesn't matter if it's 68, it's 75. If you visit my mama in Chicago, she sets her thermostat on hell. My mama thermostat be on like 80 degrees. We leave my mama house dehydrated, pulling muscles and cramping up. But it's her house. She pay the bills. It's her business. Moral of the story, your mindset is no different than a thermostat. And so you have to ask yourself the question, where has my mindset settled? Is my mindset on thriving, or is my mindset set on surviving? Here's what we need to do. Without a vision, people perish. The first thing you have to do to help your mindset thrive is have a vision. And let me tell you something. You have to look at that vision every single day. You got to see it, man. Because if you can't see it, you can't seize it. If you can't see it, you can't believe it. It is biblical. The Lord says, I will bless you as far as your eyes can see. He didn't say my eyes. He said, I will bless you as far as your eyes can see. If your eyes only see 60 grand, that's all God gonna bless you with. If your eyes see 100 grand, God say, hey, that's what you see. That's what I'm gonna bless you with. But some people who are courageous say, man, I see $1 million. And God will say, bingo, I will bless you as far as your eyes can see. My wife and I know some billionaires, and it's a blessing. How? They have billionaire vision. So the truth is, whether you're 60,000, $1 million, or billions, it really doesn't matter. The Lord will bless you as far as your eyes can see. So right now, let's just take a moment. What is your vision for your business? What is your vision for your life? And as soon as you get your vision, you got to lock in on that vision, and you can't talk yourself out of it. Literally, as a little boy, I told my parents I'm going to play professional sports. My dilemma was which sport. Baseball, basketball, or football. I vacillated between the three, and I settled on basketball, but I told anyone that would listen, I want to be a pro athlete. But I also told people who would listen, I'm going to make more money in business than I did in sports. And so the benefit of having that long-term vision, when basketball ended, I stepped into the next chapter because I want to make more money in business than I did in sports. People looked at us and said, man, Walter, that's not realistic. You play in the NBA. Why not? I worked out 4 hours a day in the NBA. In business, I can work 8 to 10 hours a day. I should make more money. People looked at me and said, be realistic. I am being realistic. The Lord will bless me as far as my eyes can see. And since we had that vision together, since we were in agreement, in 36 months, we doubled our NBA income, and we've been in business for over 25 years, and the rest is history. But the one thing we did right, we set our mindset the right place. And I'll be honest with you, my wife and I got comfortable. We crossed a certain threshold that everyone wants to cross. And before we knew it, we got comfortable in a wonderful place financially, but one day we woke up and said, well, why are we comfortable here? You know, why not be multimillionaires? And all of a sudden, as soon as we recalibrated our mindset, a lot of different things got birthed. Shark Mindset Movement got birthed. Shark Mindset Gear got birthed. We built Peak Performance Huddle. We built a coaching program. We're writing more books. Why? Because we changed our mindset not to be millionaires, but to be multi-millionaires. Can I ask you a question? Where's your mindset settled right now? What's your number? Don't look at me like that. I know you got a number in your head. You say it to yourself, man, if I can make 60 grand, I'm good. And if that is your mindset, your thermostat's locked in. You might say, man, if I can make 100 grand, I'm good. I remember growing up, our boys said, man, your boy making 6 figures. Oh, what? Oh, man, he making 6 figures. Oh, man, he killing it, bro. He making 6 figures. That used to be the number. That used to be the number. Man, I'm making 6 figures. And a lot of my friends, once they got to 6 figures, flatlined. Why? Because that's where their mindset regulated. And that's where they got stuck. But what if you take the spiritual principle and basically said, the code says that the Lord will bless me as far as my eyes can see. I need to recalibrate my number. So right now, I want you to do something very, very radical. Double your number. Triple your number. Whatever number you have in your head, erase that number out your subconscious mind and put a new, amazing number that's going to stretch you and force you to become somebody different. The moment my wife and I said multi, I had to become somebody different. The moment you stretch yourself, you got to become somebody different. The mindset that you have right now will regulate your mindset, and the number is typically something that we lock in our brain. I remember when my basketball career ended, my wife and I joined the country club. And I never forget a guy saying out loud, and I heard him. He said, man, it didn't cost me a lot of money. It was only $50,000. And I thought to myself, this guy's talking about 50 grand like it's a $20 bill. He said it didn't cost me a lot of money. It only cost me $50,000. It did not cost me a lot of money. It was only $50,000. And I thought to myself, what kind of people are these? They thought different. They operated different. And by being in that environment, over time, I began to believe what they believed. I began to understand money the way they understood money. And all of a sudden, I began to say out of my mouth, it didn't cost a lot of money, it's only 50 grand. It didn't cost a lot of money, only 100 grand. It's not a lot of money. It's only $1 million. It's all not a lot of money. I was around a billionaire on his plane, and I'm telling you, he says, Walter, it's just money. It's just money. It's paper. If we run out, we'll just go get some more. And he sounded like he was talking about fried chicken. You guys ever run out of fried chicken? A Kool-Aid, or milk, you just run to the grocery store and get some more. It's not a big deal, right? Hey, we need some more bread. Remember growing up, you wanted some cereal and your greedy brother drank the last of the milk and you was like, oh man, we don't have no milk. Just run to the store and get another gallon of milk. It's not that big a deal. That's how you talked about money. If we run out of money, we just go get some more. Let me tell you something, you can get some millions. You can get the money. It's money everywhere. We live in an abundant world, but it's all about the mindset. So the first thing we have to do to make sure we don't violate the code is we have to have a big, audacious mindset. So right now, take out a sheet of paper, grab your phone, and get you a new number. Get you a new number, man, and get you a new number that you talked about when you were 10, when you were 11, before you didn't get dejected and rejected and before life got realistic, man. Remember in 3rd grade, you stood in front of your class and said, well, who you going to be when you grew up? You should still be thinking about that. You should still be pursuing that. Don't sacrifice. Don't talk yourself out of it. Talk yourself into it. If we can do this in 36 months, if Colonel Sanders can launch Kentucky Fried Chicken in his 60s, you still got plenty of time. Abraham, the father of many nations, didn't have his first child until he was well in age. Some people predict he was in his 80s before he had his first child. There's an African proverb that says your best years happen in your 70s. See, in America, we want to retire in our 60s because that's our American culture. But there's other cultures around the world that says your best years should happen in your 70s. Why? Because you made the mistakes. why you've gained the wisdom, why you got the relationships, why you know the right people. You are well positioned to live your best life, just like you're Abraham. My friend, it is never too late for your dreams to come true. It's never too late for you to live your best life. It is never too late for you to walk into your destiny. It is never too late for you to become Abraham. You think you're waiting on God, but God is really waiting on you to expand your vision and believe that you can have this best life. You can have this dream life. And I'm spending a lot of time on mindset, because let me tell you something. Your mindset is everything, and you can't violate this thing because it's biblical. As a man thinks, so is he. If you believe you're a millionaire, think like a millionaire, talk like a millionaire, and hang around millionaires. It's just a matter of time before you walk like they walk, talk like they talk, think like they think, and make what they make. How do I know? I'm a living witness. I never had a real job. When I left the NBA, we joined a country club, and my wife and I began to fellowship and hang out with millionaires, and the rest is history. Your salary will become the average of your 5 closest friends. Your biggest problem right now with your mindset is who you rolling with. Your biggest problem right now with your mindset is who's in your crew. Your biggest problem right now with improving your mindset is being around buzzards when you should be an eagle. Let me be clear. Now I'm going to move on from mindset, but you can't have a mediocre mindset and think you're going to be a millionaire. When you have a poor mindset, you allow self-doubt and external factors to talk you out of stuff instead of into stuff. The sixth thing in the peak performance code that we got to talk about is accountability. Accountability is a big part of being a peak performer. In other words, you can't be afraid to say, my fault, my bad. My fault, my bad. Let's practice right now. Open up your mouth and just say, my fault, my bad.
My fault, my bad.
You got low credit score? My fault. You filed bankruptcy? You got divorced? You procrastinating? You're living in fear? My fault, my bad. Accountability is the ability to be accountable. That's all accountability is. It's the ability to be accountable. And I'm telling you, your maturation lies on the other side of your ability to simply say, my fault, my bad. This is the powerful one because accountability does not come natural. I can prove it to you. When Adam sinned against God in the garden, what's the first thing Adam said? It's that woman you sent to me. God asked him a simple question. Did you eat from that tree I told you not to eat from? He ain't say my fault, my bad. Adam said, it's that woman that you sent to me. Now, Adam threw his woman under the bus and God all in the same sentence. And there was nobody else to influence Adam, which means he lacked accountability naturally. It's hard for man to say my fault, my bad. But I'm telling you, your victory, your future is based on your ability to say my fault, my bad. The moment you can own things, God can work with that. The moment you can just say, my fault, my bad, it positions you in front of an open heaven. The moment you make excuses, the moment you justify, God is looking at you like you violating the code, bro. It's just like that lock in high school. You can't get into that locker if you don't know the code. You have to have the right mindset. You must have the ability to be accountable. And some people have more ability than others. When anything happens, always instinctively go against nature and just say my fault, my bad, because that's how we mature, that's how we learn, and that's how we grow. My wife's first business, we filed bankruptcy, and we had to be accountable. It was a valuable lesson in there, and we learned you should never do any business just to make money. Any business that you do, it should be built around a gift. I'm going to say it again. Before you decide a career, you must first discover your gift. Before you decide a career, you must first discover your gift. Before you decide your career, your business, it should always revolve around your gift. How do I know? I was gifted to play sports and I became a pro. When I got a microphone, I watched the audience and how they responded, and I realized, thank God Almighty, you gave me another gift. You gave me a secondary gift. And I've had men come to me and say, Walter, don't take this the wrong way. I saw you play and I've heard you speak. You're a much better speaker. I say, I don't take it the wrong way because I can run my mouth the rest of my life. I've had 2 industries I've been connected to. Sports, because I had a gift, and training and development, because I had a gift. You have to make sure that you always step into your destiny because it's going to revolve around your gift. So our first business failed because it was not based on our passion or a gift. We only did this business because we thought we could make money. Let me be clear. You can attract money to you once your gift is operating. But your gift is always connected to your purpose. Jesus says, I came so you can have life and life more abundantly. Jesus says, I came so you can have life and life more abundantly. I came. That's why I came. Why was Jesus powerful? Because he knew his purpose. Why did you come? So you can have life and life more abundantly. Why did you come? So you can have life and life more abundantly. Why did you come? So you can have life and life more abundantly. Well, Walter, why did you come? I used to think I came so I could play baseball. I used to think I came so I could play football. I used to believe I came so I could play basketball. You know why I came? For you. I came to motivate you. I came to inspire you. I came to teach you how to become a peak performer. I know why I came, and our business revolves around that passion. Our business revolves around that gift. Our vision is connected to why I came. If you want to break the bank wide open, get on your knees and pray to God and say, God, why did I come? Why am I here? And God will guide you to your purpose because God does not make mistakes. He's got a job for you. 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 Hey, Don in the back. God got a job for you too. We have to be accountable once we get off track. If we're not fulfilling our purpose, and if you're off track, it's only because you're chasing money. No judgment. Because I made that same mistake. Don't chase money. Chase your purpose. The next thing we have to talk about is discipline. Part of the code. Part of the code. I hear people all the time, man, you just lost some weight. What did you do? Weight Watchers? Jenny Craig? What did you do? Dr. Atkins? First of all, they all work. But they only work if you're disciplined. Discipline, the word of discipline is disciple. Open up your mouth and say disciple. The only way discipline works is if you become a disciple. A vegetarian is a disciple. We don't eat meat. Right? A vegan is a disciple of a slightly more disciplined lifestyle. They say we only eat anything connected to an animal. Those are disciplined decisions people make, and their whole life is governed by that discipline. Does that make sense? Some people run the Krispy Kreme every day and eat 2 donuts every morning, especially if the light's on. Am I right or wrong? And then they wonder why they get on the scale and the scale ain't good to them. And then they wonder why they have high blood pressure, and then they wonder why they had that stroke. Right? It was a lack of discipline. So can I ask you guys a question? What are you a follower of? When it comes to your diet, what are you a follower of? When it comes to leadership, what are you a follower of? When it comes to teamwork, every part of your life should have some discipline that you're committed to and you follow it. Does that make sense? Christians are followers of Christ. Does that make sense? Can I ask you a question? What do you follow in every life discipline? If you're not happy with the results you're getting in any area, you need to become a disciple of some discipline that will get you the result. My wife and I started our business. Let me tell you something. We didn't like the money. And a coach came to me. He says, Walter, how many sales calls a day do you make? And I looked at him. I was like, none. And he cursed at me. He says, you're trying to grow a business. You're not asking anyone to buy. He goes, what in the blank are you doing all day? Now, for me, being a ball player, I felt like I was in a real locker room. He cursed at me just like a real coach would. He says, what in the blank are you doing all day? You know what we did? We created our own system. I started making 25 sales calls a day every single day, discipline. 25 sales calls a day every single day, discipline. 25 sales calls a day every single day, discipline. And I began to do it from 10 to noon, and I would take a guilt-free lunch. Let's do the math. 25 times 5 is what? 125. Some of y'all need to get back in math class. 125 times 4 is what? Some of y'all need to get back in math class. 500. 500 times 12 is what? 6,000. I got disciplined and called 25 people a day asking them to buy. In 12 months, I asked 6,000 people to buy. I did that 3 years in a row, which means I called 18,000 people and asked them to buy. And people came to us and said, oh my God, your motivational speaking business is growing so fast. We've never seen a speaker grow so fast. What's your secret? What's your secret? What's your secret? I don't have any secrets. I know discipline. I lost some weight. I know discipline. 25 sales calls a day made us wealthy. 25 sales calls a day changed the game for us. In 36 months, we doubled our MBA income. I've been teaching this to all my sales training. We have shark mindset sales training. I've been teaching my people this. I don't know who executes it. I gave a sales tip a couple of weeks ago. I said, man, grab your phone and go through the letter A and text everybody letter A. And just ask them to buy something. Just grab your phone, just go through letter A, ask them to buy something. One day I grabbed letter A, I went through letter A, I went through letter B, got 2 pieces of business in letter A. Got 2 pieces of business in letter B, and I have a coaching program. I asked people, hey, did you do it? You know what they looked at me and said, no, I didn't do it yet. So you paid for the coaching program. I coached you, but you didn't have the discipline to go and execute it. You know how I made it to the NBA? Because my coaches said, square up and follow through. Square up and follow through. Just square up and follow through. Okay, coach, square up and follow through. Okay, I can do that. Square up and follow through. And if I were you, son, I would get up about 500 shots a day. Okay, 500 shots a day, square up and follow through. Did it for 15 years. I got what I wanted. I look at some of my teammates, they didn't get what they wanted. Why? Because they didn't square up. They didn't follow through. And they didn't shoot 500 shots a day. I got what I wanted. They didn't. Why? Because I was disciplined. So come on, business people. What are you a disciple of? Any area of your life that you're not getting the result you want, go find some kind of methodology and become a disciple of it. If you agree with me, raise your hand and say yes. Yes. If not, you're violating the code. So we got to have the right mindset. We have to be accountable. You have to be disciplined. You will never meet a peak performer who's not disciplined. Let me say this, and I hope I offend you. Have you noticed you never find a wealthy person obese? I find that fascinating. You almost never find a wealthy person who's obese. I'm talking about sloppy. They might have a little stomach, little love handle here and there, but I'm just talking about sloppy, like 300 pounds sloppy, and you just don't find that. Why? Because a disciplined person is required to be wealthy, and you rarely find a wealthy person who's obese because a wealthy person is typically disciplined. I find that fascinating. Now, of course, there's some exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, most wealthy people I know are also pretty fit in their lives. And if they are not completely fit, they're not nasty and sloppy either. It's just everybody. So ask yourself the question, do you have the right mindset to be a millionaire? Do you have the ability to be accountable to be a millionaire? Are you disciplined enough to become a millionaire? You know what else millionaires do? They maximize opportunities. Millionaires take full advantage of opportunities. For those of you who don't know my story, I made it to the NBA even though I never started on my college basketball team. I went to my coach's office in college. I said, Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? He laughed and said, son, you don't play for me. I said, Coach, I'm going to become somebody different. Just tell me what to do. And I'll play in the NBA. Just tell me what to do. You're my coach. Tell me what to do. He said, son, you can't run, you can't jump, you can't dribble, you can't shoot, and you can't rebound, son. I said, Coach, I know I got weaknesses. But next year, I'm going to be your most improved player. I got 4 years here at the University of Minnesota. this is an opportunity. When I leave the University of Minnesota, I want to have a college degree, and I want to leave here to go to the NBA. And I have 48 months to take advantage of this opportunity. And every year I went to my coaches, had the same conversation. What do I need to do to play in the NBA? And every year he voted me most improved player. Why? Because I knew the clock was ticking. And I knew I had to take advantage of every opportunity. And he began to play me, and 1 minute turned into 2 minutes. 2 minutes turned into 5 minutes. I never started on my college basketball team. I always came off the bench. But I believe, based on what I was given, I took full advantage of that opportunity, because you will never meet a man who did not start on this college basketball team and became the first ever undrafted rookie free agent in the history of the Dallas Mavericks to start opening night. That's what I call full advantage of every opportunity. What opportunity is waiting in front of you and you're not taking full advantage of it? You may say, my wife is creative. Well, you're taking advantage of it. My wife wants to help me with my business. Are you taking advantage of it? You work in a company, you work in the industry, you know all kind of people. Are you taking full advantage of it? Not full advantage of people, but full advantage of your opportunity. Let me tell you how we met our biggest client. We got a call from the Food Network. I came off a long road trip. My wife looked at me and says, wow, we got a call today from the Food Network. They want you to host a show on the Food Network. It sounded random. Like, what? Host a show on the Food Network? You mean to tell me for an hour show, the most expensive show on the Food Network, they want me, Walter Bond, to be the host on the Food Network? I got a busy schedule. We called the producer and said, look, I speak a lot. Hey, Walter, we'll build the set around your speaking schedule. What? You'll be in New York, and we're going to be in Toronto. You'll be in New York. We'll be in Toronto. We're going to do 9 episodes, and we're going to build them around your speaking schedule. What an opportunity. What an opportunity. We did the show. We did 9 episodes, and 1 episode was Jersey Mike Subs. And at that time, they were a small regional brand. And I got to know this founder and CEO, Peter Cancrow. And before I knew it, we became friends. And all of a sudden, I keynoted their conference. Next thing I knew, I'm on that advisory board. Before I knew it, they hired 2 of my kids. That's what I call taking full advantage of opportunities. I was sitting on a bench, and 1 minute turned into an 8-year professional basketball career. 1 TV show on the Food Network turned into a relationship with a company that just sold for $8 billion. Are you taking full advantage of every opportunity that God has given you? I guarantee you, there's some opportunities around you haven't taken advantage of because you're not seeing them the right way. I was sitting on that bench with a bad attitude until my daddy called me. He said, son, if you can help that man win, you'll play. I said, huh? Because my excuse was politics. My daddy said, you're not playing, son. I said, politics, daddy, it's political. He said, man, if you can help that man win, you'll play. And all of a sudden, I was like, I'm sitting here being selfish. I'm sitting here being self-centered. I'm sitting here throwing a pity party, and we were losing. We had a Big Ten losing streak, and I realized, man, I could help this coach, man, because if we don't start winning, he's going to get fired. I could add value to him. He's going to add value to me. I'm going to add value to him. He's going to add value to me. I went to my coach's office. I said, Coach, I could help you win. What do you have to lose? We're not winning anyway. And he says, Walter, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you an opportunity. And I was able to take full advantage of a small, little opportunity. Peak performers have a great mindset. Peak performers are accountable. Peak performers are disciplined. But peak performers maximize every opportunity. You're in financial services, maximize it. Take full advantage of it. I mean, you work in the youth industries. You have access to top athletes that go on to do amazing things. You have a camera in your face all the time. Take full advantage of it. Oh my God, you work for State Farm, the most powerful insurance company in America. You could be like Jake from State Farm. You should take over the commercials. Come on, man. Take full advantage of it. You're a native of South Florida, right here in Boca Raton. Take full advantage of it. You're a member of the greatest fraternity on earth, Kappa, Alpha, Psi. Yo, take full advantage of it, Noop. Here's what I know. Jesus came to this earth to be our Savior. And one day he knew I got to die. He said, Lord, must I drink from this bitter cup? If it thy will be done. And Jesus took full advantage and created an opportunity for all of us because he was wounded for us. Stripes on his back for us. And so to me, it's our responsibility to take full advantage of the kingdom. Take full advantage of the Bible. Take full advantage of the Word of God. Take full advantage of the spiritual gifts. Take full advantage of everything God has put on this earth. My wife and I just came back from a trip. We were over, and I'm not even going to say the country's name because we have international people chimed in, but we couldn't wait to get back to America. We couldn't wait. We realized, you know what, although America's not perfect, wow, my, there's no place I'd rather live. And I want to go home and sleep in my bed. And for the rest of my life, I want to take full advantage of the opportunities that have been afforded me since my ancestors got imported to America. We have an opportunity to take full advantage. A couple more things that peak performers do. They build a winning team. I just spoke for a company called McKesson. They do medical device. I made one statement in my keynote, and they really grabbed this statement, and now it's a part of their culture. And I basically challenged every employee and basically said, you're going to win because I'm on the team. We're going to win because I'm on the team. That's what impact players do. That's what impact players believe. Michael Jordan knew we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. Tom Brady knew we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. I told my wife we had no money coming in. I said, babe, we're going to make more money in business than we did in sports. Why? We're going to win because I'm on the team. And she looked at me and said, you know what? We're going to win. I know we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. That's what I'm talking about. That should be your mentality. Whatever team you're on, your team will win. Why? Because I'm on the team. Your family going to win. Why? Because you're on the team. Your church is going to win. Why? Because you're on the team. Your community going to win. Why? Because you're on the team. Everywhere you go, you should have impact and know we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. That's an impact player. That's a superstar. That's your mindset. We're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. You're going to win. Why? Because I'm on your team. Just lock into this $1 million an hour. And I promise you, you're going to win. And we're going to teach you every freaking week until you get sick of hearing my voice. But I promise you, when I'm done coaching you, you're going to win. You can't help but win. Why? Because I'm going to be on your team. Peak performers understand when they put on that jersey, they already know we won. Simply because I'm on the team. And think about all the great players that we honor and respect. We love Michael Jordan because you knew he was going to win. We love to watch the NBA. And SGA knew we're going to win. I'm MVP. I'm MVP. He scored 15 points in 4 minutes. He said, my team needed me to. Well, what a humble statement. He said, man, I'm the MVP of this league. I led the league in scoring. I led the league I'm the MVP, and I'm going to lead my team to a championship. And we're going to win it all because I'm the MVP, and that's my job. A peak performer understands any team he's on going to win, or she's on is going to win, simply because of your presence and that you're on the team. Now, quick review, so you just know what I'm talking about. You got to have the right mindset. That's a part of the combination. Peak performance code. You have to be accountable. My fault, my bad. You have to be disciplined. You have to be willing to maximize every single opportunity. Let me tell you something. When I get done with my toothpaste, ask my wife. I have squeezed every single ounce of toothpaste out that tube before I throw it away. And I roll it up to the tip. You guys know what I'm talking about? I roll that toothpaste up to the tip. And when I get to the bottom, I would take my toothbrush and jam it up in there until I get every single ounce out of the toothpaste. And that's what I mean about maximizing opportunities. Whatever team you're on, build a winning team and make sure your team wins. You might go to work and say, I hate my job, my boss is an idiot. You know what? You're the problem. You're getting a check every 2 weeks. You're paying your rent. You're paying your car note. And you go to work with a bad attitude and talk about your boss is an idiot, leave, quit. As long as you're getting a paycheck, you parasite, make sure your team wins. Because if you're not making your team win and you're still cashing a check every 2 weeks, you're a freaking parasite in my book. Yeah, I said it. Your job should be, you know what? As long as I'm on this team, as long as I'm getting paid, I'm going to make sure this team wins. And if you do leave one day for a better opportunity, leave there with a blessing. Don't burn bridges. And just make sure you left that company in a better place. 2 more things and I'm out. Peak performance network successfully. When I played NBA, I hung around NBA ball players. I got a chance to hang around John Stockton. My goodness, John Stockton would go to a chiropractor 4 times a day. Every single day on game day. I don't know what he did on his off day, but on game day, that man went to a chiropractor 4 times a day. What a great experience for me. I got a chance to play for a coach named Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan ate the same thing for breakfast every day. You want to talk about the model of consistency? You know exactly where he stood. He ain't play no games. He ain't play your politics. He called a spade a spade. And I got a chance to be around amazing people in sports, playing against Michael Jordan, playing pickup ball with Tim Hardaway and Scottie Pippen. It was just incredible, the people I had access to as an NBA ball player. So when I got done playing ball, all my friends were ball players. And I'm a business guy. My wife said, we need to get you around some business guys. And we joined the country club. Until we moved to Florida. Now we live in a country club. Our country club has 6 billionaires in our country club. To live in my country club, being a multimillionaire is the minimum requirement. And the fellowship is amazing. Get away from Pookie now. Be careful, get away from Ray Ray now. Get away from Billy Bob or whoever you're hanging out with that reminds you of your past and is stifling your growth. Because here's the truth, you got to manage your personal space. Some people you talk to every day, right? Some people you talk to once a month. And some people you see them when you see them. Don't be afraid to reposition people. Because some of the people you talk to every day hold you back. You need to reposition them. Maybe you talk to them once a month, and some of the people who encourage you, strengthen you, and brainstorm and mastermind with you, maybe you should talk to them every day. I'm not telling you to completely cut your people off. What I am telling you, if your salary is the average of your 5 closest friends, you better manage your network. The smartest thing we did when basketball ended, my wife and I have always lived or joined country club where we have access to incredibly successful people. Now we're not networking anymore. Now they're our friends. And now we can sit around and say, man, it didn't cost that much money. It's only $50,000. I couldn't say that 25 years ago. But I can say that now because our fellowship has radically changed. Think about your crew. Think about who you're rolling with. And your salary will be the average of your 5 closest friends. Here's my last comment, and I'm gone because we got the code almost done. I got one more thing, and ironically, my iPad just asked me for my code. I find it ironic. Commitment. You have to have a winning mindset. You have to be accountable. You have to make sure that you're disciplined. You have to maximize opportunities. You have to be a part in building a winning team. You have to network successfully, but you got to be committed. You got to be committed. What do I mean? Some people are committed to excellence. And some people are committed to mediocre. Can I ask you a question? Are you committed to excellence or are you committed to mediocre? I've had personal experiences where I've been committed to mediocre. Some of you guys know my story. I flunked out my first high school. Why? I was committed to mediocre. In my mind, if I get a C, I'm good. I went to one of these top academic schools. If I get a C, I'm good. I'll be eligible. As long as I can play, I'm good. So I went to class, and my goal was a C. Why? Because I was committed to a C. I was committed to being average, and every now and then I fell a little short. And all of a sudden I got a D. And every now and then I got an F. But my commitment level started at a C. When I flunked out my first high school, my mama looked me in the eyes, and she said, baby, if the teacher gives out A's, you know you can get one. Wow, mama. Up until this point, I can honestly say, I never really even went for an A in class. I never even thought about getting an A in school. And that might sound funny to you. That might sound crazy to you, but I'm being accountable right now. Up until that moment, I never even thought about going to school getting an A. I'm like, man, if I get a B, that's great. If I get a C, that's fine. I never even thought about an A. Until my mama said, baby, if the teacher gives out A's, you know you can get one. And all of a sudden I realized that my commitment level was too low. I'm from Chicago, South Side. I know some people are committed to welfare. Some people are committed to food stamps. Some people are committed to Section 8. Some people are just committed. They're just committed. That's their lifestyle. But I've met some people. I've been exposed to some men and women in sports and in business that have a much higher commitment level. Committed to millionaires. Committed to multimillionaires. I had dinner with a guy, my wife and I, who sends 126 kids to college every year, named Clint Viner, former owner of the Florida Panthers.